Asking what is improv to me? It's anything that's basically in the moment. So specifically we're talking about theatrical improv. So it's just people on stage that are paying attention to things that are actually happening rather than pre-scripting things in their mind.
That was Alex Veslanko. He's been performing improv for over 10 years and is one of the Impromaniacs that I had a chance to talk to when I dropped in on one of their practice sessions. I was able to get a glimpse into the process of co-creating a story on the fly.
What are you doing?
The Impromaniacs are arranged in a loose circle in a cold, sparse room on the second floor of the Victoria Event Centre. There are about 20 of them, some young, some old, but each of them open and fully engaging in the art of spontaneous creation.
What are you doing? Duck, duck, goose. Duck, 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 duck.
This is one of their warm-up games. Someone's in the center of the circle, miming an action. A second person walks in, asks what they're doing, and has to mime whatever response they get. This helps to train the quick thinking and total acceptance that's important in improvisation.
I'm getting a move with my car.
So what I'd like to do now is we're going to spend a few minutes just doing some wander around and develop a character, then we'll sit down and do some scene work sort of as that character. So we're going to spend about 5 minutes helping you build some kind of character. So how do you feel, how do you walk. So keep it simple for yourself. All right, so just kind of start in neutral, just kind of start exploring the space.
And at that, the group of players slowly disperse, the space filling with milling bodies, circling each other, heads down, murmuring as they work out their characters.
Direct or indirect kind of person. Heavy, light. How do they move their arms around? How do they move their hips?
As Jonathan continues to give advice, you can see certain players' walks change, their head bobbing in a slightly different way, their pace lengthened or shortened, as they figure out the mannerisms of their character.
And if you feel like it, you can stop and interact briefly with the people around you.
Great. Hey, John.
Like, totally. It's like an awesome day. Like, totally. Like, it's totally awesome day. Hey, Mr. Face. Denver. Awesome day. I got some spit on your shirt. I'm sorry. Check you later.
As the characters interact, the small din of the room rises to a cacophony. I can see the characters emerge as each player voices them. I hear a Vietnam vet, a DJ who is constantly bobbing his head, and a southern gentleman. Once the characters have gelled, chairs are set up in front of the stage, and the group begins to do short skits based on the characters they've developed.
So I ever tell you about that time in the swamp? Leeches, all I had to eat. 2x4 cell up to my chin in water. But damn, they had some nice fish around there. My God. That's it, that's my story.
Well, I have a story too. Can I tell you the story? Okay, Jennifer from accounting. She's always going into my lunch, taking my Pop-Tart. So the other day I got one of those teddy bears with a camera in it.
You put a grenade in it, put a wire up, and put it outside her office, right?
No, well, I thought if I caught her in the act...
You could literally take her head off and put her on a stake outside the camp. I've done it before. Really breaks the morale of the other people.
Well, actually...
After more character work, the group ended the session and were off for sushi. I had a chance to talk more with Alex before he left. Having admired the courage of the players, I asked him about the constant risk of a scene failing in improv.
If people realize that it's about the work and not about them, So you can do an awful scene and still be a good person. And in fact, doing an awful scene, whatever that means, and doing it in a good-natured way is in fact oftentimes better than some cold, calculated person doing a precise or perfect scene.
Despite the risk of failure, Alex explains that the performers can derive their motivation and energy from the interaction with the audience.
A lot of the time when you're actually performing, there's a feedback loop between you and the audience. So if you can generate energy from the audience, you can feed off of that. It's the times when you don't have a very responsive audience, when you do sometimes have to consciously kickstart yourself or make sure that you set off this chain reaction. If you can get it going, then hopefully it's self-sustaining. But when improv is working properly, it's basically effortless.
As I was watching, I had noticed that performance improv wasn't just about people fooling around. It took a focused and agile mind as well as practice. I asked Alex how he managed to keep it fun while still improving on his art.
The way that I think about it is, if you look at kids play, but they take that play seriously, right? It's distinct from dicking around. So if you see a kid and you dick around with a kid, they're going to go, hey, they're going to get mad at you because you're not taking play seriously. So that's the way I would say best sums it up, is you want to take play seriously the way a child would take play seriously.
Walking home later that night, thinking about what I had seen, I realized that in a world choked with technology, there is something wildly exciting about co-creating art with others with imagination as your only prop. It seems to satisfy that old desire to recreate your reality and delve into fantasy. Being a kid or living the childlike life isn't about irresponsibility or immaturity. It's about viewing your reality as completely malleable and under your control. And that's exactly what improv does. If you'd like to learn more about the Impromaniacs, you can visit their website at www.impromaniacs.ca or see their next show on December 20th at the Victoria Event Centre. I'm Travis Wilson for Focal Point.